Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes podcast. I'm Bert Lepore. He's Damian Monte Carlo. We're hanging here with Angry Mike G, and we're talking our top 25 picks for that Halloween mix.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is episode 2 of Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes. Today, we're talking about our top 25 Halloween songs. Basically, we all came up with our own list of 25 songs, like that are, for like the Halloween season. And a lot of the songs we had, came up 2-3 times, in our list. So we pretty much put them all together, and we thought, which ones would be the best 25. So here it is, and hope you dig it.
Cool. I guess I'll start it off. On number 25, we have Fire by Arthur Brown. From the Crazy World of Arthur Brown, 1968 it was released. Kind of a trippy song about a man facing his demons and his past, with the words, I am the god of hellfire, I bring you fire.
I am the god of hellfire, and I bring you fire. I take you to burn.
For me, creepy as shit. Cooper before Cooper, but I seen it after Cooper.
But how did it not get done before 25? That's my question. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, Dame, are you familiar with the Fire song?
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. And then when I saw
the list,
your list, I was like, damn, man, I forgot about that tune. And I didn't even know who he was until I saw there was that metal. It was like a metal documentary. It was like I forget what the hell it was called.
The ones, the guy from Banger or something. Yes.
A documentary on metal, and they went like through the beginning, right?
And they broke down everything.
And I was like, who the hell is this guy? He came out in like the 60s. He wore makeup like Kiss and Alice Cooper.
He had this like headdress full of like candles and fire and stuff.
Yeah, he had like a helmet with like a flame or an actual flame on top.
I think I actually heard that he burned himself with that too.
I'm sure. I remember seeing the video on MTV. It was fucking weird. It was, but it was like fire. It was fucking weird. But
you're a kid. That's definitely scary shit.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. And I think he actually got me into him because he listens to some goofy shit sometimes. He got me into it. And there was an album called The Vampire Suite that he did. And I'm like, this guy ain't that bad. And he said, do you remember him? And I had to look at pictures. And when I seen the picture with the fucking crazy face with the fire thing, and I was like, wow. I was like, it was pretty cool. It was different. Now, I actually just went to Sit and Spin Records up on Passyunk Avenue around my way, because I'm just starting to get some vinyl here and there, and I found it in there for $3.99 this week.
Really?
Yeah, and I just picked it up.
Original record?
Yeah, I was like, fuck it. I mean, it's probably banged up a little bit, but I don't care. Fire,
Well, it's funny. He when I first heard the song, I was like, man, it kind of reminds me of like, I could hear like Bruce Dickinson. I bet you he was influenced by this guy.
Oh, probably,
Maiden.
yeah.
You know what? He was.
He was. Here you go. Yeah.
Because he was doing a lot of that, like, operatic vocal stuff. And that was like in the 60s. Like, nobody was.
And I think it was a concept record. That one was a concept record, I think, where it's something about the inner demons and facing himself, but it was got to be way ahead of its time because we knew Cooper Kiss, but who knew Arthur Brown?
Yeah, it's a few years before.
Fucking pretty awesome.
I remember he was on tour with somebody. It was like a package, like one of those.
It was an old-time package kind of deals.
Yeah, he was like coming around. Saying, I wish I would have seen him.
But it's weird. As I get older, I start listening to stuff that I never, which we always say was old man music. But now it's like I find myself digging it. Like a lot of that trippy shit. I'm like, or that psychedelic stuff. Like, which we'll go into later on. He actually made the countdown. Roky Erickson, fucking bizarre, awesome shit. Am I gonna
walk in here tomorrow and hear you listening to Tiptoe Through the Tulips?
No Tiny Tim for me. Moving on to number 24, we got the Edgar Winter Group, Frankenstein. Dame, your thoughts on Frankenstein?
I forgot to add that one on my list, and that's so obvious, It's
fucking riff, man.
Probably the greatest instrumental song ever.
Great riff. No words needed. Just a solid fucking riff. And that was like around 1972. I believe the album only came out at night. I always get mixed up with Edgar Winter, Johnny Winter, who the fuck Winter. But, yeah, I mean, Mike, any thoughts on Frankenstein? Just a killer track, right?
Same here, great riff. Just hear it at arenas.
Yeah, I mean, the riff is fucking...
Yeah, you hear it everywhere. Yeah.
Really
People probably don't even know the name of the song. Do you know
that dun 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 dun?
Definitely don't know who did it. Can guarantee you that.
Yeah. But, okay, I guess we're moving on to number 23, which is pretty interesting. Werewolves of London, Warren Zevon. What do you know about that, Dane?
I don't know too much about it. I mean, I definitely know the song. I don't really know the background of it, but I mean, everybody knows that
Everybody
song.
knows the song. Yeah, everybody knows the song.
Great track. Oh.
Was that in the movie?
I don't know if it was. Yeah, you think it would be? I mean, it might have
I
been.
think it was for some odd reason.
Yeah, it seems like so obvious.
Maybe when the credits roll? I don't know.
I don't even... What was first? Yeah, this was definitely before the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was, yeah.
Yeah, that was 78. The movie's probably 80, 81, maybe?
Yeah,
Probably early 80s.
Yeah.
Great movie. I haven't seen it in
Great
fucking
movie.
20 years,
Yeah.
but great movie. But, crazy thing with that was, and me and Mike were actually discussing this last night, doing a little cheat before we actually do the recording, and I always thought it was Werewolf in London. I didn't know it was Werewolves of London. I always thought it was Werewolf in London.
I thought it was Werewolf in London.
Yeah. It's one of those, what do they call that Donnie talks about all the time? One of those medulla things?
Yeah.
The Mandela.
Oh, the Mandela. I'm saying Abdullah Medulla. It's the Mandela effect. Which is weird, where you think, like, what was the one with Queen that they always talk about? We're the champions of the world, or where they don't actually say...
I think it's the end lyric. We are the champions and then of the world.
Right.
Is that it?
Yeah, but I don't think they ever say the world.
And now I'm not sure.
But it's in our head that they said it.
Yeah.
That could be a whole nother episode with the Mandela effect.
The Mandela effect.
Not the Madubla Abdubla.
Yeah. The Madubla effect.
So I'll tell you what, though. I think the Werewolves of London song was in one of my favorite comedy movies. Was it in Teen Wolf? It had to be in Teen Wolf. You ever see Teen Wolf?
Oh, for a million times.
Fucking hilarious.
I don't know if it was in that.
I don't think it was.
No?
Nah. I've seen Teen Wolf a million.
What's the song with the toothbrush? He talks about the toothbrush. It might be another goofy werewolf song. I don't know. He's got his toothbrush.
Yeah. If you look at that soundtrack, I don't think it was anybody that was
No, it was no big.
Yeah.
Probably low.
Yeah,
low budget. Yeah, low budget. Great movie though. Teen Wolf. Everybody gets a chance to see Teen Wolf. Number 22. Mr. Dokken.
Yeah,
we got
favorites.
Dokken and Dream Warriors. Dame, what do you think about the Dream Warriors?
Oh, I love that. That was the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie that I saw in the theater. I think
That was part 3, wasn't it?
Part 3. Yep,
I
Nightmare on
saw
Elm Street
that
3.
and, oh man, I was like obsessed with Freddy Krueger when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, dude! First Freddy Krueger movie, scary as all hell.
Yeah.
Second one, then
Second
it just went into a comedy act.
Yeah, then he became stand-up Freddy.
Yeah, but the third one was great, and that song was like, it's a killer tune.
It was great. I mean, the Don Dokken, I love the way, fucking great. I mean,
The video.
great song. One
Freddy
thing,
Krueger in it.
great video.
Yeah, George Lynch is doing the solo, and Freddy Krueger comes out, and gets his arm.
You remember the video? Yeah, I thought that was really, really good. Especially at the time. I mean, we got to always remember the time it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect for the time that came out. And then here you going back. I don't know what. I don't think it was. It was one of the Freddy Krueger movies. But remember, Slaughter had not Slaughter.
Vinnie Vincent.
Vinnie Vincent, the time of the season. That were one of the songs, right?
That time of year, or Love Kills.
Love Kills. That was it.
That was the one after.
And you're like, oh yeah, it was okay. So that was part 4.
The Dream Baby, or what the hell?
Yeah, it might have been something like that.
The Dream Child.
Dream Child, yeah. But it's like the video's all kind of cool, and then you see the Freddy hand go against the guitar, and you see Vinnie Vincent, who looks like fucking Lily Tomlin in drag. You know what I mean? And you're like, he looks like Lily Tomlin.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you don't realize it, because we're all pretty much, in the grew up in the 80s, and the 80s, the way they dressed and all that stuff. And back then, you didn't notice how goofy and creepy it was. Now you look at it now, you go, wow, they all look like transvestites.
Right.
And you don't really realize it back then.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
hey, whatever floats your boat. You know. But it looked like an episode of Cox and the Frocks. You know, one of those, you know. Looking back, and I'm like, wow, man, I used to have all these posters up on my wall. I'm like, it's a little weird now. Now I'm like, you know,
I think my mother thought I was going to be gay because I had...
Did you hear that?
And rock stars.
A lot of half-naked men.
Topless and bottomless guys almost.
Well, dude, I gotta say, my favorite poster of my wall, I had two of them. One was of Tracy Lords, which was my favorite, the infamous Tracy Lords poster. And the other one was, it was like, remember they used to do the door posters? It was like the whole door? Yeah. Samantha Fox.
Oh, yeah.
I remember the Paulina Porskova.
Paulina was hot, but the Samantha Fox,
that was the saving grace right there. That was the biggest one in the room.
She had what's the name? She had no bra on, but she had her arms like crossed, and she had like these little panties on. Of course, I'm trying to see if I could see a little beaver on the side. You know what I mean? Fucking, man.
I was an Alyssa Milano guy myself. I think there was.
I think everybody loved Alyssa Milano.
I had a poster. She was wearing like a hockey jersey, and she was holding a hockey stick.
Hot as could be. Yeah.
That's perfect for Halloween because we could mention Embrace of the Vampire.
Yeah.
It doesn't get better than that.
But yeah, Alyssa Milano, beautiful.
I think that's what it was called, right? Embrace of the Vampire?
The one where she where the
she was
boobs out?
in, yeah.
I don't know what it was called. I remember it was her, and I forget who the other girl was in the scene. But she did like a lesbian scene or something. But, so Alyssa Milano, I think everybody had a crush on Alyssa Milano when we were kids. But, okay, moving on. Okay, next, number 21. Dead Skin Mask from Slayer.
Yeah, that's a great one. I had Slayer on my list, but I didn't have that song, and I was gonna pick that song, but I didn't. But it ended up on the list.
Yeah, you did pick a Slayer song. We both picked Slayer songs. I think Dead Skin Mask kind of
I picked that.
Yeah.
He picked Dead Skin Mask. That kind of outdid. I had Rain and Blood originally, and you had Angel of Death. Right.
I think any of those three.
Any Slayer, yeah.
But Dead Skin Mask definitely is more of a Halloween. I mean, it's.
Yeah,
I used to think that was about Silence of the Lambs. Well,
kind of, right? I mean,
it's in a certain sense.
Yeah.
Same kind.
Ed Gein's about Ed Gein.
They even had some of the lines in the movie in that too.
Yeah,
if I remember right now.
You know, I mean, scary as hell story. It's about Ed Gein who skinned his dead victims and wore their skins as suits. Hence the name Dead Skin Mask. At the end of the song, you hear the voice saying, "I don't want to play anymore, Mr. Gein." So, so that's about Ed Gein, which is, infamous, probably the first serial killer, as they say.
Yeah, right.
And, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you got from that, which I always thought was a really, truly true story. It's not.
It's probably,
it was kind of based on the Ed Gein thing. But Slayer, I mean, there's a billion Slayer songs that could have made the list, but Dead Skin Mask is 21. Number 20, Sweet Dreams, Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, it's a creepy tune. I didn't have that on my list. I was going to put Manson on there, and I couldn't think of like appropriate song. Sometimes the ones are the most obvious.
Oh yeah, it's hard when you it's like when you watch Family Feud and you're like, you know all the answers, but if you were on there, our dumbasses would forget all of them. Yeah. I would be like,
I mean, let's not forget the Rhythmics did do a good version. Well, that was their song anyway.
Yeah. Great song.
He just changed it totally. He creeped it the opposite way.
Yeah. Yeah, they were very popular, very keyboards. It was still had its eeriness to it, and Annie Lennox was interesting. Great voice, definitely interesting at the time. That song was probably over my head when I first heard it when I was a kid. It was like too advanced for me or something. It was kind of like, it's too advanced. And then when Manson did it, it was like, wow. And Manson was, at that time, like untouchable.
Yeah, it was his peak.
It was untouchable. I mean, it was right after the first record, and then right before Antichrist Superstar. And I remember when that EP came out, Smells Like Children. I think it was 1995. Yeah, 1995. And when that came out, it's like I remember going to South Street, and looking all over for it to finally I got it. I'm like, it's great. It's like Willy Wonka. It's fucking. It was just so. It was so good. But yeah, I mean, Manson sounds a little different today than he did, but he's got the Bowie thing where he changes with every album. You know,
so he could get away with it.
He could get away with it. So Manson, number 20, Sweet Dreams. Number 19, and we're gonna put a billion in songs for this, but number 19, Enter Sandman from Metallica.
Yeah, it's another one that was obvious that I kind of forgot about. But yeah, I mean, it's about nightmares.
Yeah, I mean, originally the song was about crib death. So I think I don't know what the title was, but it was about crib death, and the lyric, they actually Bob Rock, from when I read, him and Lars pretty much told James, listen, man, the song's too good to write about that. And I think James at first was like, what the hell, because nobody talked about, you wrote what you wrote in Metallica, and they kept everything kind of sacred to what they wrote. And probably the smartest thing they did was change the title, change some of the words, because it's millions and millions of copies they sold all over the world.
Yeah,
So Metallica, Enter Sandman,
and every jockey knew that would want to beat you up was like the biggest Metallica fan.
Yeah, all of a sudden everybody liked Metallica. It was like when they did the Kiss reunion in '96 or something like that.
So where were you guys at 3?
Yeah, everybody was a Kiss fan.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Yeah,
it was definitely crazy. Going to number 18, we have another Metallica song, cover song, "Am I Evil?"
Yeah, it's a good one too. Diamond Head, originally from Diamond Head song.
Yeah, an original Diamond Head song, and you know what's weird? It's on some records, and some records it's not.
Yeah, that's right. I was just going to mention that too. Like, I would always look for the Kill 'Em All version with that. I can never find it. And some friends of mine had it.
Yeah, I think what happened was they might have been, I think, where they were Megaforce first, and then I think when they went to Elektra, I think they did some sessions. I'm not sure, but I'm not going to hold me to it. But they did some sessions before Ride the Lightning, or during Ride the Lightning, and they recorded Blitzkrieg and Am I Evil? And I think when Elektra first put out or re-put out the CD, I think them two songs were on it, and then they took it off.
Yeah,
something like that. I don't know why or anything like that, but I mean, great song. My mother was a witch. Great line. Diamond Head, which I don't know enough about, but they seem to be a big influence on that thrash bass.
Yeah,
New
wave of British heavy metal.
Yeah, they seem like they have a lot of influence on people, almost like Anvil. Anvil had like a ton of influence on people.
Yeah,
and
they weren't.
Yeah, they're saying Anvil.
Success.
You've seen the Anvil movie. It's like they think they should have been huge, and a lot of people sound like that. And even like, especially because me and Michael hang around, we'll try and go through some old shit sometimes, and like until the last maybe 8 years, I wasn't a big Motorhead fan. Now I love Motorhead.
Yeah,
there's
so much music out there. It's like
it is. It's like, and if you listen to like early Motorhead, you could hear James' voice kind of like going, "Oh wow, it reminds me of Lemmy now."
Yeah,
which
you can really tell where they
their influences are.
From, yeah.
Absolutely. So another influential band on the thrash scene at number 17, Evil from Merciful Fate.
Yeah, you could have picked a bunch of Merciful Fate too.
Oh, any.
Diamond, I mean.
Yeah, we could have a whole list on just King Diamond stuff. But Fate, man, scary as could be when you're a kid.
Yeah.
And I mean, great song from the album Melissa. Great song. I mean, I love the song Melissa itself. But any thoughts on King Diamond?
I mean, I gotta say, I missed the boat on him early on. But I mean, when I hear stuff, I'm like, wow, if I would have heard this as a kid, I probably would have been scared the shit out of me.
Oh yeah, I mean,
definitely.
Man, my favorite King Diamond record's probably The Eye. The Eye is just, every song is good, man.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculously good. But like you said, we could have put any King.
Really, any more.
We could have put any King on there, and King Diamond has to make the countdown somewhere. You know what I mean? Moving on to 16. One of my favorites, one of Dame's favorites. Kiss, Unholy.
Yeah, it's a great one. Probably, I almost had God of Thunder down there, but it wasn't like, I don't know, the lyrics really weren't as like evil, I thought, but Unholy was like, I mean, it's about,
Oh, it was great, man. I mean, you got a song that's talk about, I'm evil incarnate, I was created by man. I'm like, wow, Gene's back.
Yeah, the video was creepy too.
Dude, I was over Frankie Bruno's house. So we were over there for like a party or something like that, and we're watching Headbangers Ball or something, and I hear the dun 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 dun. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
I'm like, a new Kiss video. I'm like, oh man, dude, awesome video. The only thing that ruins the video is when Paul gets in front of the screen and does his little prance.
Yeah.
But besides that, great video. Great Bruce Kulick riff, or Vinnie Vincent, I think, helped out with that song.
Yeah.
I mean, so good.
And there's an ultrasound. I just found out about this recently. In the video, there's it starts out with the ultrasound.
Yes.
That is his daughter, Sophie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's pretty.
his daughter's ultrasound.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, video or photo. Or
I didn't know that. And then
yeah.
they use some of like the fast movement in the video. Excuse me.
And there's two twins that were in the video.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Shadow behind the kids where it was like two demons.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Great song.
Pretty cool, yeah.
Great song, great video. Definitely had to make the countdown. Next on the list at number 15, one of my favorite artists, Danzig, with Her Black Wings.
Yeah, another guy. I mean, like Manson and King Diamond. Like it's you say Danzig, it's Halloween. All the songs are like
Yeah.
creepy and
You could put anything on that. I mean, Danzig's one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. I actually was into Danzig before I got into the Misfits.
Yeah, same here.
And a little bit of Sam Hain. Sam Hain was okay. To me, it wasn't as good as the Misfits or Danzig.
It's like listening to a evil Elvis.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, he's got that. There's just something about it. And I love that he don't have to sing heavy. He could just.
Oh, he sings.
He sings.
Yeah.
It's like.
Even the music itself, it's not like they're like rock and roll sounding guitars. It doesn't sound like super
heavy or
distorted. I mean, there's like barely any distortion on these guitars.
Yeah, I mean,
And it's just got that creep factor.
yeah. Everything's black and white and dark, and he's always pissed off looking. And,
yeah.
there's always like some some demon kind of shit going on. And
Oh yeah, the Danzig stuff. Remember they banned the Mother video and like we're like for what, But yeah, I mean just Danzig, Her Black Wings, great song talking about being seduced by a demoness, But a lot of Danzig stuff's kind of like that.
Yeah.
And what's weird is that, listen to Danzig stuff, is that I love almost everything he did, and the one album I was actually waiting for because I thought it was going to be interesting was that Black Acid Devil. And it was supposed to be, techno meets Danzig. And I'm thinking, wow, they're going to have all this crazy Nine Inch Nails kind of sound stuff with him singing the way he sings. And then the album just wanted to be like over distorted vocals. I'm like, man, they took away the best part.
I thought that was like the last. After that album, it went all downhill, I think. And I love Danzig. Everything is like a couple bits and pieces. Once the original band left.
That was the lineup. I mean, that first lineup with Chuck Biscuits, John Christ.
The whole. I mean, 50% of the sound, I think.
Yeah, oh yeah, John Christ, Eerie Von, Chuck Biscuits, and Glenn Danzig. That's the Danzig lineup.
Yeah.
I mean, they had some cool things after that, like when they came out with, if I say it right, Blood Red Sabbath or Sabbath.
Yeah.
They say great record. That reminded me of the earlier Danzig stuff, and he's got Tommy Prong playing with him now, which is cool, but it's still.
I just don't like his guitar sound.
Yeah, that's a squeal. He does a lot of the squeal stuff.
It's really bad.
But Danzig definitely has to make the list. Danzig, number 15, Her Black Wings. Moving on, number 14, Pet Sematary by the Ramones.
Yeah, great one. I mean, the movie was a really good movie. I remember I didn't even know who the Ramones were until I saw the video for this. And, it kind of doesn't sound like the Ramones,
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of more mellow. It's not so, hey, hell, let's go kind of thing. It's more mellow, you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, that was a great song. I mean, I kind of like the Ramones.
I love the Ramones.
Yeah. I had some of their stuff growing up, and I haven't listened to them in a while, but I don't know. Got to give them another shot again.
But yeah, I mean, I think the Ramones are cool. They're not on my top 10. Like, I mean, probably down the line, I want to do, like, something with the podcast where we do, like, this versus that, and two of the main... throwdown kind of battle outs I want to have that we could eventually talk about is the Ramones versus the Misfits. It's like either you're the Ramones guy or a Misfits guy. I'm more of a Misfits guy, but we'll get into that when we do that episode.
More t-shirts?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a tough one. Even that one right there.
And then the other tough one that I can't wait till we get into discuss, hopefully in a couple episodes, Sabbath versus Zeppelin. That's got to be it. That's got to be a...
Both came around at the same time.
Sabbath and Zeppelin, the two biggest, I think the biggest influences as far as what we like to listen to. It all comes from, all the music I know I listen to either comes from Sabbath or Zeppelin, But, so hopefully down the line we'll do something like that. Now we got a real good treat here for number 13, which is, I love the whole record.
Yeah.
We have Trick or Treat from Fastway.
Yeah, I mean, I love the movie. But that was one of my, guilty pleasures, that movie.
Love it.
I still watch it.
Love
Every
it.
year I gotta watch it.
The most disappointing thing, Dame, for me with that movie was that, I found out that it was the guy from Fastway, and it wasn't Sammy Kerr.
Yeah.
I'm like, the guy looks like this. He looked a lot better like that,
I read that the dude Sammy Kerr was actually like a dancer. Like a ballet dancer.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
That's where they got the character from.
Yeah, I mean, originally Gene Simmons, they wanted him to be the Sammy Kerr guy.
Right.
And he was like, nah, it's too close to home.
Yeah. Another bad Gene Simmons movie choice.
He should have been Sammy Kerr.
He should have been Sammy Kerr. Even though, dude, he was great in Dead or Alive and Runaway. And there were his two. Runaway was great, man. Runaway was great with Tom Selleck.
I was going to say, but that was Tom Selleck.
Nobody's got a better mustache than Tom Selleck. You know what I mean?
Best mustache in the biz.
Best mustache. That guy could still pull off a mustache.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mustache. But Sammy Kerr, dude, what a great movie. I watched it every time I could.
Yeah.
I'll watch it around Halloween time. Sometimes if it's on, I'll catch it.
I haven't seen that in years.
It's so good. Ozzy's in as the preacher. Oh my God. Yeah, great movie. If nobody's seen it, definitely check it out. Trick or Treat, great movie.
But the soundtrack is
Soundtrack's awesome.
Yeah.
It's great till you find out who does it, and you're like, I mean, Fastway's cool, but they were more rock and rolly kind of.
Well,
right?
You know, it's funny. Do you know who the singer wound up playing with?
Dave King, that guy. Who?
Flogging Molly.
Really?
Yeah.
Totally different.
Yeah. Now he doesn't even want to talk about Fastway. Like he doesn't even want people to bring it up. He's like ashamed of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah. That's. I mean, listen. His voice was still good. He was in another band. I forget what they're called. It was Cats something. Might have been the record or something. Cats.
Ether?
Yeah, Cats something. Because he's the dude with the red hair, I think,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, I had it, and it was okay. I mean, he's got a cool voice.
Yeah, he's got a great voice.
He's got a cool voice, but Sammy Kerr, the Image, man, totally. I mean, I was sucker for gimmick, sucker for Image. The Image, just like, what a great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie. And it's
6'6" Crush.
Metal Shop. Yeah. Metal. And the funny part was what? The main character was the guy who played Skippy. What was that? Family Ties.
Mark Price.
Yeah, you remember the name. Yeah, Mark Price, baby. Skippy. Goddamn Skippy's all rock and rolled out.
Skippy, Mark Price, whatever his name is in the movie. What's his name in the movie? I always call him Skippy.
Skippy. We all know him as Skippy.
But the opening scene, he's got all the metal posters on his wall.
It looked like one of our rooms.
Yeah. It's like, oh, man, I had that poster.
We were loving it. Skippy.
Skippy was one of us.
Yeah, Skippy.
We all had a little piece of Skippy in us.
Absolutely. All right, moving on. Number 11. Shout at the Devil, Motley Crue.
Oh, no. We're on 12.
Oh, I skipped one. My bad. We're going to go back to that one. Number 12. Night of the Vampire, Roky Erickson.
Yeah, this is a great one. And I remember a buddy of mine was like, at work, he was like, you ever hear this guy, Roky Erickson? I was like, man, never even heard of him. He was like, oh, you got to listen to this song, Night of the Vampire. And we were listening to it at work. I was like, damn, this is like freaking awesome. And that whole record is all like about weird horror
The evil
stuff.
one.
The evil one.
Yeah, they're going to re-release that, I think, too,
Are they?
on vinyl. Yeah.
Yeah, that record is great. But that tune, I remember when I first heard that show on HBO, True Blood, about all the vampires.
Yes.
Remember
yeah.
they'd always play like a song at the end,
Yeah.
during the credits? I was like, they always used to say, that song has got to be on, and they never use it. That would have been perfect for that.
Perfect, yeah.
For that show, because it
I
kind
mean-
of fit all that,
What's weird is that I kind of only tripped over him recently, and I didn't know if it was Roky or whatever, but I found that it was Rocky.
Yeah.
And I kind of started listening to some of that, and then I think the 13th floors or something like that. 13th elevators or something like that.
13th floor elevators?
I think that's it, 13th floor elevators. So I started listening to that, and I don't know much about him, but the only reason why I knew of him was probably because Ghost did the cover song.
Oh, yeah.
Which I didn't know it was a cover till after, and I love the song.
Yeah.
And I went back and I listened to it, and they said that's who it was. I'm like, let me see what this guy's about. And I kind of
He's a nut.
yeah, oh yeah, well, dude, I don't know the whole story, but a buddy of mine was telling me the other day to check out a documentary called "You're Going to Miss Me."
It's good. Really
You
good.
seen it? See, I didn't even say I want to see it.
I might have it. If I can find it, I'll
Let me check it out. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's really good.
I heard it's good, and I heard it's something like, they were in trouble for something, then he said he was insane or something like that, and then...
Yeah, well, he did so much acid, it really fucked him up, and he wound up being like a mental institution.
Yeah.
And I think the Evil One, that came out like the early 80s. With
81 or something like that.
With the song is on there, Night of the Vampire.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much, it was like, I kind of wonder like how much input he had, because he was like, if you see this movie,
right,
you would know like there's no way this guy could write this music. But anyway, in the later years, he had his son playing in the band.
Okay,
so his
cool.
son was sort of like the musical director, I guess, and I think Rocky was like barely, he was able to sing, but he could barely play guitar. But
right,
he came around a bunch of times. Every time saying, "Oh, go see him next time," and then he passed away like a year ago.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? I, honest to God, really haven't heard about him until recently.
Yeah, well, he's really influential on like Billy Gibbons.
Oh yeah.
He's from down, like Austin, Texas. Like really influential on ZZ Top.
I didn't know that. Yeah. But I mean, I love the acoustic creep thing and the psychedelic stuff. Like even
Three-Headed Dog.
Yeah, dude. Maybe we should cover that song.
Yeah, that's a great song. Yeah.
That dog song I was listening to that today, and I was thinking maybe Dammy could cover that for the old Monte Carlo band.
I don't know too much about him, but I'm definitely interested in checking him out.
Yeah, well,
definitely sounds.
He's creepy, man. I mean, he's.
I don't know how I missed it.
He's sort of like, almost like Sid Barrett. Like he just went insane.
Yeah.
I don't think it was as bad as Sid Barrett. It was
he might be the godfather of horror rock, or one of them. Him and Arthur Brown, maybe.
Yeah, they came around at the same time.
It's weird. I was checking out some videos today before we started doing the podcast, and I'm like saying, this guy's really, really interesting. You know, and it's definitely something. I think I get into. Mike usually comes up with some wacky stuff. Either one of us will come up with, hey, did you check this out? Did you listen to this? And I would say if Mike comes up with 10 songs, at least 7 of them I'm interested in. 3 of them I might be like, I don't know what the hell this is. But one of the things he came up with, and it's probably around the same time, was another kind of psychedelic guy named what was that guy's name? The album was Snake Charmer. Where was the?
Oh, Snake Finger.
Snake Finger. Check it out. It's some weird psychedelic shit. It's
60s.
No,
60s
I
or
would say
70s?
this is probably 70s, mid-70s, maybe early 80s.
He was a part of what's that? He had something to do with that band. What's that band that they have a billion records out? The Residents with the eyeball. You ever see like the logo with the eyeball thing with the top hat? Yeah. So he had something to do with the Residents, which I don't really know much about either.
A little too deep for me, but
a lot go. Yeah. I don't know.
It's just the stuff I heard. I don't know. Maybe I need direction on what to listen to, but it just sounds like it just doesn't make it past like a few minutes of the song. And I tried many occasions.
Well, if you couldn't get through it, I definitely couldn't get through it.
You'll probably love it.
I would have. Last time, Mike put on. He likes the band the Cardiacs, and
no Cardiacs.
Oh, just Cardiac. Just Cardiac. They're like an English band.
Yeah, don't trash.
And they're
trash Cardiac.
They're highly influenced by they influenced a lot of people evidently, and it's funny because they have.
I can understand how it could be irritating.
Well, some of it's really good, and
it's more about ideas.
Oh yeah, it's all over the place. Some of it's really good, and some of it, there was a song or two I had to tap out after a couple of minutes.
And I knew which ones you were going to tap.
Oh, Mike's waiting for me. He's like, I can't believe you lasted that long. I'm like, yeah, man, I got to tap. Oz got to tap. Okay, moving on to number 11, Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil.
Yeah, it's good. And you don't really think of Motley Crue as like a Halloween type of band, but at that time they were like those first 2 records. They had like that
look, yeah,
like
absolutely.
Shock rock look.
Absolutely.
But that song is, that's appropriate. I mean,
great. I mean,
the intro to
that in the beginning. Great intro.
I think any kind of like horror type song always has like a great intro.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like build up to the
absolutely. I mean,
creepiness of it.
Shout at the Devil. Great song, great album, and it's always the argument for me is that even though I tend to go to the first one, usually Too Fast for Love or Shout at the Devil, which I always say Too Fast for Love, but it's probably Shout at the Devil at the end of the day, even though Too Fast for Love always seems to be the one I pick.
Well, I like the production, but it sounds
for better, Shout, the production's better, right. Yeah. And I remember seeing them, I don't know if it was like 83 maybe or something like that, on when Looks to Kill came out, and the video was great.
Yeah.
It was all the shit I like, it was... Fire, the broads, the crazy look.
Yeah. Guys dressed in drag.
Cocks and frogs. But Yeah, Motley Crue, Shot at the Devil, definitely deserves to be on the list. Definitely. I think the song originally was called Shot with the Devil.
Yeah.
And they changed it because shit was supposedly getting weird. so they decided to call it Shot at the Devil. Number 10, the one and only AC/DC, Hell's Bells.
Yeah, I mean, here we go. Talk about intros. I mean, you got the creepy bells in the beginning. I mean, Hell's Bells. I mean,
Perfect.
What else more to say on that?
Yeah.
Just perfect. I mean,
there's even,
yeah.
Oh man, years ago, right? I had a 4-track cassette, 4-track recorder.
like a Tascam or something like that.
And I remember I had this book. It was like, I don't know, the Great Rock List book or something like that. And it had like the top 10. It was a book of lists. So one of them was like the top 10 songs with backward messages.
Oh, nice.
And Hell's Bells was one of them.
Really?
Right. So what I did is to play a song backwards, the side 2 has to be blank. So what I did is I recorded Hell's Bells, the entire song. I flipped it backwards. I put it in my 4-track recorder, and I listened to it, dude. And it is fucking creepy. Some of the shit.
Really?
It's about. He says, like, you hear fucking him saying like Satan and all kinds of shit like that.
So you actually heard stuff?
Oh yeah. I did it to all these songs. I did the Stairway to Heaven. And
I did it with a regular cassette player. And you have to spool the tape backwards, and they turned it around.
Oh.
Same effect.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But you never wanted to ruin the original, so you always had to tape it on a blank tape.
That's what I did. Yeah.
So you actually heard some cool stuff?
Oh yeah. I don't remember exactly what it said. I'm sure if you
Somebody, I'm sure, is on it.
Somebody has it on there, but yeah, it was pretty fucked up. And at that time, I was like into really into death metal and all that Satan stuff.
Yeah.
So I was trying to make like something really creepy sounding, and I forgot that I was doing like some sort of like death metal growls on like somewhere on the tape.
And you were hearing them backwards?
So I hear this Hell's Bells, this Satan stuff, and then out of nowhere, me like forgetting that I was doing this death metal growls, I hear like this, it's like
You're fucking so high.
really low and slow, and I threw the headphones like so far across the room, man. My I had goosebumps, like I was scared shitless. It's like, and then I remembered, okay, you fucking idiot.
So I'll give you. This is like I must have been 5-6 years old. My buddy, he was probably a year or two older than me, and we used to fuck around and make songs. And we just made the song. It was like, na 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 na. We're doing this fucking 7 minutes, 8 minutes on this like shitty thing they give you with to test your stereo and stuff. So we taped it over that. We played it back. 2 points on this tape. Wasn't in the same room as us. Totally different pitch than us. There was just demon growl over us. And there was nothing that could have made that noise that was near us. Till this day, we never knew what the fuck that was. But it was just like, dude, what the fuck? It was just over us.
Right.
And there's no mistake, and it was fucking Satan. We're doing some
no
some
mistake.
Satan shit. We probably fucking summoned Satan as like 5 and 6 year olds. So
that's where 3 jabronis talking about nothing right now.
Right.
I'm still kind of curious, like, how do they get that stuff like on backward? How do you get like the backward messages?
You talk it. Well, we've done on one of our when I was with Sunday Night Saints on Raising Cain. Me and Donnie sat here and just was mumbling nonsense. And what we did was we just reversed it. And especially nowadays, it's easier. You reverse it and just play it backwards. So we could be talking now. If I reverse the whole track, it'll just talk it backwards.
But this is the lyrics, though. He's singing the lyrics, and you flip it back.
Oh, and you hear the words.
And his vocal, the Brian Johnson, I forget what line. I know the line. I'll give you black sensations up and down
your spine. Yeah.
That line, you like backwards, has the line.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm
like, how do you figure that out?
With the melody, especially with the melody
maybe
in there.
figure out what you want to say backwards first, and then try to say, well, what is this? Now let's turn what we said backwards around. Okay, well, what does this sound like? So let's try to sing that.
Like the trick or treat. You should never right, whatever. You should never right, Crazy stuff. Let's go on to number 9. Alice Cooper, who has to be on the list, of course. Welcome to My Nightmare.
Yeah, I didn't really like that album. I mean, but that is like the concept record. Welcome to My Nightmare. That whole story, you know, it's like you gotta put it on there. I mean, but that's like when he started going solo.
Yeah,
Like, you know, I wasn't really too into that era.
It wasn't one of my favorite. It wasn't one of my favorites, but like you said, for the concept of it, the video sequence thing, and it was what 70s, right? So it had to be
74, 75.
yeah, something like that. Yeah. So yeah, with the concept, the visual, the concept. It's weird because you hear some Cooper stuff and you think like, oh, it's scary, but it's really light. Most of it's most of it's light.
He was a lot of theatrics and stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll never forget, my cousin told me this story about Alice Cooper. He went to go see him when he was in New Jersey. And he did his whole show, and he did Walk Through My Nightmare, and he's doing this whole thing with the noose and running around the stage with the noose hanging. And then finally he gets the noose and puts it around his neck and then jumps. And then it was like his neck snapped. And he's laying there, and everybody thinks he's like, okay, he's going to get up. And then all of a sudden, their security comes out. And they're like, what the fuck? Everybody's starting to panic now. He hung on for about 10 minutes, he said. I guess he had this rig in there or whatever. But he had about 10 minutes, and everybody thought he was dead.
Yeah. They didn't know it was part of the show.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't do that these days because everybody, the internet and stuff, everybody knows what goes on.
Yeah.
Call an ambulance. But, yeah, I mean, Coop's great, man. I mean, there's so much. It's another guy I didn't get into until I got older.
Yeah.
You know, where, you know, I mean, I knew the hits from the 80s, but then you start backtracking, and there's, you know, Love It to Death. And
yeah, the original band stuff.
Great stuff.
Yeah, I liked them. Everything after that was very, like...
Hit or miss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of the Cooper stuff, to me, is hit or miss. Mm-hmm. It's either I love it or I'm like, you know? Like, a lot of people love the School's Out record. I don't like it that much. I didn't think it was that good.
Yeah. Love to Death is my favorite.
That's a good one.
Like, you know, $1 Billion Babies, I
like that. I even like the what's-the-name one. The other concept one, the detective one. Whiskey and Lace. I actually like that.
Yeah.
The King of the Silver Screen and stuff like that. I kind of dug that. And then, like you said, it's hit or miss. The last record he just put, that paranormal record, great record, man. Oh, my God. Every song. I don't know if you heard the record, but it's great. You would probably love it.
I probably heard a track or two.
You would love it. I think you would love it.
Yeah.
You would totally be into it. Okay, so we're moving on to number 8, Helloween by the Misfits.
Yeah, it's a good one. I saw them last year. I think it was... Yeah.
Did you go to the reunion? I didn't go to the reunion.
Yeah, saw them up in New York at Madison Square Garden, which was supposed to be like the last show. And it's funny, the next day they announced the Philly show.
Right. But I mean, think of that,
they
dude.
Play that.
Punk band.
Yeah.
Playing Madison Square Garden, and it's unbelievable.
First, you know, real like punk. I mean, yeah, you got Green Day.
They're the real deal. Yeah, they're the real.
As far as like the originators that came from that New York scene in the '70s, yeah. I mean, the Ramones didn't do it. You know.
No,
I mean,
dude. Misfits. I mean, like you said, we talked about it earlier. You can put any song. Yeah. Any Misfits song would work. You know.
Yeah, but the track Helloween is great. You know.
Great. Yeah, anything. I mean, you even mentioned Red Fink at one time. Red Fink's a good song. Not Red Fink, yeah. Return to the Fly.
Right.
With Vincent Price.
A lot of it.
Yeah. I mean, there's just... I mean, face it, we could do a whole list on just the Misfits.
I mean, shit, it's Halloween.
Yeah, some of these guys, they wrote the book on it, you know. I mean, Alice Cooper, you know, Misfits are horror punk. You know?
Absolutely. We're going to move to, speaking of anybody could have wrote the book on the genre of horror, number 7, Bark at the Moon, Ozzy.
Yeah, another one. Great video. I mean, album cover. I mean, Ozzy looked like... I mean, they should have used, like, how he looked in that video. That should be the model for a werewolf in every movie.
Absolutely, look great.
Long ass fingernails and fangs.
Look great, and that was what was that, 83-ish?
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, great video, great song, Jakey Lee.
Yeah.
I think that was Jake's first record, right?
It was. Yeah.
And I think Tommy Aldridge played on the record, but he did a lot of stuff. I think he played on the record.
Yeah.
Even I think Carmen Apiece might be in the video.
Played in the video and some of the tour, and then they brought Tommy back. It was really weird. Like
yeah, but I know
with Ozzy, you never know who played.
I mean, you're a drummer, Tommy Aldridge.
Oh yeah,
gotta love him, right?
So can I step in here for a second? We went through this whole thing, and I think we missed one.
Who did we miss?
Did we miss Halloween?
We didn't get to that. No, Halloween for the Misfits we did. The other Halloween, you mean?
That's next.
That's coming up next, Mike. You are ahead
We're
of
still
the
on the
game.
Misfits.
We're on Bark at the Moon, number 7. It's not highlighted probably on your paper.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
That's why I'm thinking something else.
Any comment on Bark at the Moon?
Any comment on Bark at the Moon? I mean, it's Ozzy Osbourne. It's evil. I remember the cover to that one. Was he in the werewolf out?
Yeah, the werewolf out. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Yeah,
Pretty decent. Not one of my favorite Ozzy records, but pretty good record overall. Not bad.
I remember the band Shadows Fall.
I remember the name. Yeah,
They did a cover of Bark at the Moon, but they also recreated the video.
Haha, no way.
And it was almost like, note for note. I mean, scene by scene, it was.
I'm gonna have to
really cool.
after we wrap up. I'm gonna have to take a look at that.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Was that the singer with the dread, kind of like long dreads,
super
kind
long dreads.
Well, no, I didn't know they redid the video.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking cool. Pretty cool. All right, let's move on. Number 6, Halloween by Helloween.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've had this on my list, but I don't really know too much about Halloween. But I remember watching Headbangers Ball back in the day, and around Halloween they would always play this video, even if it was like well past their prime, like in the 90s. They would always play this.
The video with the guy with the pumpkin on his head.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great video.
Great video.
Very cheesy done though. I remember, but it's great.
Oh yeah. Well, Halloween. I was a Halloween fan, and a couple things. Halloween. Chris Jericho, the wrestler, got his name from the album Walls of Jericho.
Right.
Halloween. For the Halloween record, same thing. It was that was part of a concept record.
Keeper of 7 Keys.
Yeah, there was part 1 and part 2, and Halloween was part of that. Great band. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that, in the vein of Iron Maiden, when they said that Bruce Dickinson was leaving Maiden, the first thing I thought was, the guy from Halloween's going to sing for
they should have.
He's going to sing for Maiden. Yeah. But cool video, like I said, Headbangers Ball, whatever he used to always play. That was it was a cool video, cool song, cool concept. It's one of those genres, though. It's going to stay in our genre. It's not going to break out into the mainstream too much,
Right,
I think the biggest song for them in America might have been "I Want Out." Which was a good song. I mean, great band, great singer. Real good stuff. A mix between metal and prog rock, kind of somewhere.
I mean, it was like Maiden, Queensryche kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the bands that didn't make the list that Mike put on there, which I don't know much about, but he seemed to like. Remember Crimson Glory?
I do, but I don't know anything about them.
Very loosely. I mean, you kind of dug. What was the record that you dug from them?
It was called Transcendence.
That was with the original lead singer, I guess.
I believe that was their first one.
I think he passed away and somebody else came in after that.
Midnight.
That's it. Yeah. But yeah, so a little shout out to Crimson Glory.
the Mask of the Red Death.
He remembers.
Yeah.
Too funny. Moving on to number 5, we have another Ozzy tune, Mr. Crowley.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Crowley. I mean, it was what was he, like a friggin'
Aleister Crowley. Totally about Aleister Crowley, which
sorcerer or whatever else.
Occultist. He was an occultist. Crowley was an interesting character, and
Jimmy Page bought his house and was living in his house.
Dude, I don't know if it was on that. It's either I read a story about Ozzy or they were talking about it on maybe it's that Ozzy and Jack Detour thing. I don't know if it was. I might be getting confused, but there was a story saying that Ozzy went in the studio. There was a picture of Mr. Crowley, and Ozzy's like, "Who's that?" I think it's someone's like, "You've been singing about the guy for 30 years,"
on a show on Boneyard last week, Ozzy was saying, they were talking about the song, and he was saying that people from that live in that area, they always tell Ozzy that he says it wrong. It's not Mr. Crowley, it's Mr. Crowley.
It's Crowley. It sounds very professional, Mr. Crowley. But for Mr. Crowley, just that
great intro.
I was gonna say that keyboard intro. Yeah. Oh my god, dude!
And then the way the vocals come right in, it's right there.
Yeah. I think that's where that edges out Bark at the Moon. It's the keyboard intro, and then the Mr. Crowley part. I love Ozzy.
A little higher on our list, but
Mr. Crowley.
Mr. Crowley.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely worth top 5. Definitely worth top 5. Moving on to 4, which was I was pleasantly surprised that all 3 of us picked pretty high.
Really?
Dragula from Rob Zombie.
All 3 of us.
All 3 of us had it high.
Yeah, it's another guy. I mean, he's synonymous with Halloween. I mean, everything he does is, you know, you're not going to see him sing about like flowers and the sun and beautiful things out there. It's always like Halloween theme, and the videos are always cool too. Like
Dan is always 2021. He might be doing flowers and
yeah, that's true, right?
But we're definitely in an alternative universe right now. So Rob Zombie's going to be coming out doing
his next album will be all
tulips.
Yeah, be a Tiny Tim cover record.
But yeah, I mean,
hit a lot of songs with him. And
oh yeah, I mean, and I love all zombie stuff, even the White Zombie stuff. I like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's just so much cool stuff, and he's his own deal. You know, he's still the same kind of. He kept to his thing. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rob Zombie.
I saw him live before. His show was pretty damn good.
I never seen Rob live. I never seen Rob Zombie live.
I saw him once at a festival about 2-3 years ago.
Good. Yeah, it was cool.
It was good. Yeah.
Yeah, he said. Yeah, you
I
said.
saw him at the Electric Factory.
That would have been cool to see him there.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Was that
balcony seat? So it was pretty cool. Like at that point, like I didn't even want to go down and do. I was too old. I just wanted to watch the show from above. So.
Yeah,
Right.
it's probably the best spot.
Was John Five playing when
Yeah.
he was? Yeah, I mean John Five's
He's
great.
phenomenal.
John Five's great. And he was with Manson right before that, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. But yeah, that guy's really good. So Rob Zombie hits it at 4, and
And you should mention that Dragula was based on the
that's
Monsters
right.
Club.
I love the Monsters.
Yeah.
I mean one of my favorite sitcoms.
Great show.
Badass with the cards.
And Lily Munster, hot.
Yeah.
Definitely hot. Yeah, it was beautiful, man. Okay, let's move on to number 3. Number of the Beast, Iron Maiden.
Yep, another great intro. Creep me out, man. It's that it's everything with these songs. I always have to have the great intro. It kind of sets the tone.
Absolutely.
For the song.
I mean, what's more, it's Iron Maiden. I mean,
Yeah.
Maiden. Yeah, I mean, another one of my favorites. I mean, Maiden's high.
Yeah.
they were always on that list when we were younger of bands you shouldn't let your kid listen to. And it's funny because my first listen of Iron Maiden, I got an album from the library, which
Really?
it was Somewhere in Time. But I was like, wow, that's pretty bizarre seeing Iron Maiden in the library.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the 666 number of the Beast. It's got to be on there. You know what I mean? I mean, it's
great lyrics.
great lyrics, great story. And it's not. I love these songs that people think it's one way, and then if you really read the words, it's not what you think it is. It's
Right.
it was about a nightmare or whatever. It's just like it's not. They're it's got to be this. I'm like, you read the words, asshole. You know what I mean? But yeah, Maiden. I mean, how can you? But just the album covers. It's like
Eddie.
greatest album covers in the world.
Best mascot. In music.
Absolutely. There's nothing compares to it. You know what I mean? Nothing compares to it. So let's move on to number 2. Number 2, we have Black. Number 1, Typo Negative.
Do we all have that one?
Yeah,
That
that ranked high.
I remember when I was in high school, a buddy of mine said, "Oh, you got to check out this band. The singer sounds like Count Dracula." I was like, "Okay, who are they? I'm sold." I think this band, Typo Negative. So that coming week on Headbangers Ball, they played that video. Man, it was like, it was the imagery and everything. He looks like freaking Count Dracula. He sounds like Count Dracula. The bass player's playing like an upright bass, which just looks creepy as shit. And
Dude.
great. That album is awesome.
Typo, one of my favorite records is Bloody Kisses.
Yeah.
It ranks high for me. Pete Steele, awesome. I love the whole deep voice thing. It's a great band. Typo is really high for me. Like, same thing, they have their punky thrashiness, but then they have this gothic kind of creepiness and... Yeah, so good. I mean,
I remember back in
so
the mid-'90s, you go to the goth clubs back then, that was definitely one of their favorites.
Oh, yeah.
It was like you'd look at the dance floor and it was just like like zombies on the dance floor.
Dude,
it was
that's the number 1 stripper song in my book is Black number 1. You go to a strip club, that's the song that should be playing. I walk into a strip club, that's the song you play. That's it. But yeah, dude, Typo Negative, Black #1, great video, great song, great image. The thing I love about Typo is that, thanks, Tim, that they actually they don't mind making fun of themselves.
Right,
You know what I mean?
I just want to mention that too because he's not like Danzig, where Danzig's 24/7.
Very serious, yeah.
This guy always saying in interviews, "Oh yeah, this is my day job. I'm going to retire from music in 10 years, and then I'm going to go back to my old job." As
Sanitation.
As sanitation.
Yeah. He loved the sanitation.
Yeah, and then I remember one time I was in Brooklyn. I remember they reopened L'Amour's in Brooklyn. This is around 99 or 2000, and I was there with a friend of mine, and they wanted to see some Stone Temple Pilots tribute band at L'Amour's, which is weird. And it was like, no lie, there was like maybe 7 people there, and Peter Steele was one of them. At a Stone Temple Pilots tribute.
That's wild, yeah. Yeah, who would have thought, right?
He's in the back just talking to like 3 girls, just like smiling.
9'9".
Yeah.
Hulking dude.
You figure where else you're gonna find some hot chicks other than the Stone Temple Pilots tribute?
Yeah.
Right? Hey.
But it's funny, there was only like 7 people there. He was one of them.
That's bizarre.
With all these girls around him. But yeah, he had a sense of humor. I mean,
absolutely.
But,
yeah,
great.
Great band. Typo, definitely making a list. That brings us to #1 on our mixtape, and hopefully, you make your own little mixtape for Halloween. And how could it not be Black Sabbath at #1? Dame, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, what could be said? They wrote the book as far as like, I mean, a lot of bands, we mentioned Arthur Brown and Alice Cooper and everything. Like, some of these bands came out even before Sabbath. I think when that come out, 69 with Black Sabbath.
Yeah, 70.
70,
Might have recorded 69, came out 70.
But they sounded like horror, Like they sounded
crazy
scary,
sounding, yeah.
A lot of some of these people, like Alice Cooper, looked scary. Kiss looked scary, but they weren't.
Sabbath
the music
sounded.
didn't kind of, match what they looked like.
Yeah.
And Sabbath was like, it was like listening to a horror movie,
Absolutely. Ozzy's haunting voice.
You put those albums on, especially when you don't really know what they look like back then, so it's gotta be like, what the fuck are these guys? Is Satan gonna come in my fucking living room right now? It's just it's evil.
Yeah. And you heard the devil's note in there, the try note, which oh, come on, man.
The album cover was it like a witch or something?
I think it was like a witch in front of this house, or some broad in front of this creepy house.
But hey, it did the job.
Man. I mean, and it's a good thing they changed their name. I mean, they were called Earth or something like that before that. They changed their name because they were like, I guess, a blues band, But best move they made,
Yeah, Black Sabbath was, I think, like an old
Boris Karloff or something like that. Yeah, it was no horror movie.
Yeah.
But Black Sabbath, definitely #1 in my book.
Yep.
I mean, they rank up high on my personal. I mean, my favorites change all the time, but Sabbath is probably, my second favorite band of all time. You know, Kiss, because they're the first band I remember since I was a kid, but Sabbath's definitely #2.
Yeah, they wrote the book on how to sound evil.
Absolutely. So
let's go through our.
You want to go through what you got? Yeah.
Yeah, through our own. We came up with our own individual list, and I'll just run by them super quick. Start from 25 on down. I'll start with mine real quick. For 25, I had Zombie Ritual by Death. Death, I mean, the singer from Death sounds like he was, swallowing a bunch of razor blades, and it's about zombies, and you can't go wrong. 24, I put Metallica 1, because the video always creeped me out, and, had a Halloween type theme. 23, I had Hellion from Wasp.
Ooh.
22 was Angel of Death from Slayer. At 21, I had Unholy, Kiss. 20, I had Shout at the Devil, Motley Crue. At 19, I had Night of the Vampire from Roky, Erickson. At 18, I had Her Black Wings from Danzig. 17, Children of the Grave from Sabbath. 16, Helloween from the Misfits. 15, Pet Sematary, Ramones. 14, Welcome Home from King Diamond. 13, Helloween from Helloween. 12 was Trick or Treat. Fastway, Trick or Treat soundtrack. 11, Dream Warriors Dockin'. 10, Mr. Crowley. Number 9, I had Lost Boys from 69 Eyes, which is based
Good
on,
band.
based on the movie. And he sounds like
Typo Negative, yeah. They're like not nothing. I mean, not down. They sound like a weak typo to me.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, they're not as heavy.
They're good, but they're like typo light.
Yeah, exactly. 8, I love the Dead. Alice Cooper.
Good song.
Hell's Bells at 7. Number 6, I had Possession from Danzig. That intro was like crazy,
yeah.
You know. Bark at the Moon, Ozzy. Number 5. Number 4, Dragula. 3, Number of the Beast. 2, Black number 1, and number 1 I had Sabbath.
Very, very good list. And we had, I mean, looking at my list and even some of Mike's lists, we had a lot of mutual. We had like maybe 15 that were almost the same.
Yeah.
So it was really close. So
I'm not going to read my whole list because, well, I threw it away. I ate the paper. So I can't read that list, but there's a few of them I could just sputter out that maybe could have been on there that we might have overlooked. And, I mean, definitely Screaming Jay Hawkins.
I put a spell on you,
I put a spell on you.
I thought
that just, I mean, that guy just chants evil. It just
He might have been one of the first.
absolutely, yeah.
He was the first.
Probably was the
crazy
first.
noises he would make, and it's like he was like singing and speaking in tongue, and evil shit.
I'm with you. I think that's one we missed.
We missed that.
We missed that one, yeah.
But and then we also have I don't know if anybody heard it, early Ministry when they were doing sort of new wave industrial.
Yeah.
Did a cool song called Every Day Is Halloween.
I don't think I ever heard it. I never heard it.
And there was another band, 3. They did a song just called Halloween. Really cool, creepy sounding song. So that's a few I could just sputter out off the top of my head. That maybe missed the list.
I would say a lot of mine was close to Damien's list and to the final list, but I would say for me, we missed. I put a spell on you from Screaming Jay Hawkins. How do you say his name?
Screaming Jay Hawkins.
Yeah, so that's probably made the top 5 probably. But hey, there's always next year to make a new list because our favorites, I'm sure, change here and there. So before we wrap up here, I'm going to put everybody on the spot for a second. Dame, what is like the recentest thing that you listen to that is like what's on your playlist right now that was like something different or something that you're really hot on right now?
Oh man, you did put me on the spot. Shit. Let me look on my.
As Dame's looking, I'm gonna tell you that always trying to find new things. I was actually putting something up on Facebook at one time, just seeing where everybody's picks was, so I could check out some new music that I didn't hear before. And for me, I'm so big on the Claypool and Lennon Delirium.
Oh.
Right now, that's like one of my favorite things right now. It's so trippy, it's so good.
Oh, that's a great album.
But South of Reality, that's what I'm onto.
Definitely, probably my hottest album of the year.
Oh yeah. Well, and then you,
Last 2 years.
what would you say yours was? The Crooked Vultures record?
Them Crooked Vultures. How did we miss that?
I don't know
It's
how
like
we missed that record,
practically
man.
13 years old. I think we both missed that one.
Yeah, my buddy Joe Mel.
I just heard it for the first time like maybe a month or 2 ago.
Joe Mel said, "Have you heard this record?" I'm like, "I know of it, but I didn't really pay attention to it."
Like, how did I miss that?
Joe was like, "Dude, put it on." I put it on. We've been playing it for like the last month straight. It's so good. So I would say, for me, that was probably the most recent thing. Them two records were like, that's what I've been listening to a
Flying
lot right now.
Colors Third Degree album was great.
Great record. Nothing hot, Dame.
No. I'm looking at stuff. I've been listening to Van Halen a lot lately.
Dude, that's
because of
with Eddie, man. But we're gonna.
You know what? I've been going back and just revisiting stuff.
That's the best thing to do.
We could do a list on Van Halen too. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, I hit that one at some point.
Absolutely.
Been listening to Third Danzig album a lot.
All good stuff. All right, guys. Well, we're going to sign off till next time, and it's mixtapes and tasty cakes. See you guys next time.
Happy Halloween.
Arr.
Mixtapes and tasty